friends. Welcome to Love's Inner Voice. This is Brenda. I have a beautiful guest with me today. Her name is Laura Dunworth, and you'll meet her later. Let's do our heart breathing to get to come into the room, to come into present time. If you like to close your eyes, please do so. Breathe in to the count of 4 or 5, through your heart, down all the way to your toes. Breathe in the light and love of the divine. Breathe out anything that you're ready to get rid of right now. Let's do that 3 or 4 times. Breathe in the light and love through your heart, down your lungs, into your body. Breathe out anything that you're ready to let go of into that light and love. Oh. And if there's any message, be open to it. Oh, so blessed to be with you all today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Laura Dunworth. Oh my, she and I have had a couple of meetings on Zoom and we've had such a good time. So we'll see what comes today. The name of our show is Life, a Healing Dance. And life is a dance, right? So Laura has been an educator since 1992. She is a loving wife and mother of 2 sons. After the loss of her beloved younger brother in 1997, Laura began a spiritual journey of healing and growth. A lot of us do that after we lose somebody that's close. She noticed how her stress and grief were affecting not only her emotional state, but also her physical body and her sleep patterns. How many of you can identify with that? I know I can. She's done breath work, yoga, meditation, and she began to explore any other and all kinds of healing arts. And that's sort of the dance that we can walk in healing, right? So she's passionate about helping others, groups, clients to transform their lives through practice that promote body, mind, and spiritual healing and wellness. She works with those who suffer from stress, anxiety, insomnia, and various illnesses. She's certified in many healing arts, yoga, somatic breathing. She's also aware of heart math, which I really like, and an energy healer and meditation teacher. She empowers her students to create a safe and compassionate space for healing and transformation. Laura, please share your healing tools with us. Thank you so much for being here. I love
Oh,
your smile.
thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. Well, I do think that my smile is just kind of a direct connection to my spirit. So yes, I mean, as you mentioned, we tend to have these catalyst moments where, maybe it's a loss of a loved one or an illness, or could be a divorce, it could be a loss of a job, it could be anything that in that moment kind of stops you in your tracks. And
Yeah.
for me, it was my younger brother, and we were very, very close growing up. We Our parents divorced when we were very young, and we really depended on each other. And yeah, we kind of had an unspoken a bond that didn't need words. We really kind of, really tuned in, I guess, psychically, really to each other, to our each other's thoughts and needs, and we're really, really, really close. And yeah, when he passed away in a hiking accident in Hawaii, it was the catalyst moment
Oh,
yeah, that really started it all for me. And I think since we've talked, I've begun another journey on creating a new book because it kind of all came to me in this massive download of So many people are hurting right now. So many people are struggling right now. Sharing the signs and the awakenings and the sacred rememberings, I like to call them, after my brother's death and the journey, which was, over 25 years ago, but even the things that still happen today and how my abilities of, claircognizance, knowings, getting messages, all of these things started happening. And I decided to, put that all in a book. So that will be coming. And I may have to tie in a dance title to that. But definitely it's remembering our light. And I think both you and I are here to do that in the ways that we connect with people. And so yes, writing, getting this knowledge and these things like these signs out to people is a big calling I have now because people are seeing repeating number patterns like 1111
Yeah.
and 333 and they're getting animal totems that show up and synchronicities and rainbows and knowings and songs on the radio. One of the songs that I got early on had some lyrics that talked about, well, I'll just give you the lyrics. Love travels the miles upon the wings of angels. Love finds you. I swear it's true. I can love you from here. And it was a song I'd never heard before, and it was a particularly hard day I was having, and I was just scanning the radio, looking for distraction, and there's the song. And so learning how to trust what's coming through, learning how to trust. And a lot of times we'll start to feel this in our bodies, as you know. Truth
Yep.
feels good, truth feels light and expansive and freeing. And when we hear something or um, maybe we have some cycling thoughts or loops in our head and it feels constrictive and it doesn't feel good, then that's when we're not aligned with our highest self. That's when
Yeah.
we're falling into maybe the thoughts of other people, right? Or the collective. And so, yeah, learning how to recognize is so huge. And
Yep.
then, like you said, the tools, then we start to breathe.
Yeah.
I have a 21-day breathwork course on my app. I have some tapping instructional videos, EFT, emotional freedom technique that we
Yep.
talked about.
Love that.
Learning how to connect and learning what works for us. And for me too, it's yoga is a huge one, pairing the movement with the breath and the intentional space, creating that mindfulness and that presence is what I teach people. And it may look different on different days for different folks, but I think that's why I have gathered such a collection of tools in my toolbox because I'm drawn to different things on different days. Sometimes it's just standing barefoot in the grass. Sometimes it's going
Yes.
for a walk in nature. Just really, really learning how to tune in and trust what we're feeling and what we're getting.
Yeah. I love that you brought up the parts of us that are sort of going constricting us. I
Yeah.
call that merry-go-round thinking.
Ah, yeah.
And I love the thought of a merry-go-round because every horse, every animal, every pillar can be a person, an experience, a thought, a feeling. And if I'm noticing, oh, I'm on the merry-go-round, do I want to stay there? Do I want to stay there? Or do I want to get off and do something else? Do I really want to take a pause, like we've talked about before, that
Yes.
beautiful acronym
Yes.
for pause?
It is, right. Perhaps another unseen solution exists. Yes, I love
Yes.
it. I love it. I love it. Well, and that ties into, when you slow down enough to be mindful and to be in the moment, you can become the observer of your own thoughts. And so I tell my
Yes.
yoga students that all the time. It's like, okay, can you observe your body? I'm giving them physical cues of where to stand and, how to press down with fingers or toes or whatever that will eventually lead you to becoming the observer of your thoughts. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not my thoughts. I can choose to step off the merry-go-round and
Yes.
choose to have other thoughts. I don't have to stay in that victimization identity of feeling like life is happening to me instead of life is happening for me. And
Yes.
yeah, I can choose to see things differently and have different thoughts. And that in itself is so empowering.
Yeah. And we can also choose to acknowledge what we're feeling in our body, as well as feelings in our heart, our emotions, and go, oh, is there something here for me to learn?
Exactly, because our bodies, as you know, our bodies have messages and our different energy
Yes.
centers vibrate at different frequencies. And if we're having a lot of issues, maybe with our feet or our knees or our legs, maybe we're feeling like we're unstable in our life, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's, some instability in life is creating instability in the body. And I know for me, I've always kind of had, well, not always, because I'm much better about it now. But if you hold in a lot of emotion, if you don't share it, if you don't express it, you tend to have throat issues and you tend to have digestion issues because you're not digesting emotionally what's happening in your life or you're not able to speak about it. So, yeah,
Right.
you're right. Tuning into what you're feeling in your body and wondering, I wonder, I wonder what's going on here and I wonder what else might be possible for me.
Yeah. And one of the things that a lot of us experience when we stuff down our emotions, a lot of us choose to stuff it down with some kind of addictive behavior, whether it's food or spending or, you know, running to the point of almost total exhaustion where our body is just can't even put one foot in front of the other.
It's
Anorexia,
true.
all of those things are ways to stuff down emotions that we don't want to acknowledge and
Exactly.
learn from.
We're trying to control everything around us with those, compulsive behaviors,
Yeah.
and instead of, learning how to heal them and work with them.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that's part of the dance,
That's part of the dance. That is part of the
the
dance.
healing dance, to ask those questions, to be willing to stop, to pause, and to go, oh, I can look at this differently if I choose.
If I choose. Well, and that's our free will, right?
Yep.
That's our choice. And
Yep.
journaling has been such a big thing for me. I sit down, I have my morning ritual with my coffee or my tea and my journal. And I like to just kind of tune into my highest self and ask what's there. And just that listening to that inner voice because it will always guide us. And like you said, it will when we're really resonant and aligned with our highest selves. We feel that expansion and we feel that freedom and we realize that we do have choices. We always have choices.
Always have choices. And so many people say, well, I didn't have any choice. Well, you may not have had choice for what happened to you from an outside, a car accident or whatever. You do have a choice about how you would choose to respond to what happened. Because
Exactly.
so many people say, well, I had no choice. I said, about the incident and about what happened to you, maybe not. How you
Hmm.
choose to respond to it is a whole nother game, a whole nother part
Exactly.
of the dance.
It's so true. And we also don't want to bypass the feelings. I
Right,
mean, especially
right.
with grief, we have to go through those stages and we have to be in it and we have to allow ourselves, to feel the victimization, to feel the anger, the grief, the overwhelm, the disbelief, whatever it is. Because we can't just jump to, oh, there's a lesson here and I have to learn it. We have to be in the feeling, and then we
Yep,
have to kind of dance our way through that. And for me, it was reaching out to find helpers. I reached out to find books that resonated and spiritual teachers that resonated and practices that resonated. Um, and like you said, asking for help. You really, we're never alone. We
yeah,
have our
right.
angelic and divine guides and helpers, and I like to call them collaborators because they
Yep,
don't just jump in unless we ask them for help.
right.
And so they collaborate with us. but we're not meant to do anything alone. And so being in the grief, being in whatever it is, but dancing our way to some help, and then finding our way into knowing and remembering that we are divine beings, and we can choose some different
Yeah,
different feelings about all this, different thoughts.
right. Yeah. Well, my team, I call them dear ones
Hmm.
because I didn't particularly like, I was raised Catholic, and God to me is a very harsh term
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Mm-hmm. For a lot of people.
less for now. So I said, I know you're there. What name can I call you?
Mm,
And I got, call me dear one. And when I
mm.
thought about it for a minute, I had to laugh. I said, oh, you do have a sense of humor, don't you? Because the initials are DO, meaning do, take action. Don't just sit on your laurels.
Yes.
And part of the action is to ask.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
an
true.
action. When I was
Yes.
going through grief for the death of my dad a year and a half ago, I realized at the time that I had never grieved my mother when she passed 5 years before, because I immediately shifted everything to dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed to create an acronym for grief to help me through it. I don't know if I shared this with you.
You did, but feel free to say it again. I love it. I wrote down all those acronyms. They're so good.
What I came up with was grateful rebirth, internal energy flow.
Ah,
Because what I realized is I needed to rebirth myself as I was going through this agony, this guilt sometimes, all of the things that come with grief.
mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be grateful for all of it.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yeah,
And so many times, like you said, some event will trigger past events that you haven't healed from. And for
right.
me, I've noticed a pattern of most of us have some abandonment issues. And
Yeah.
I noticed a pattern that, I had never, I mean, I was only 5 years old when my parents divorced, and I never had really thought about how to grieve that, or I never wanted to make my parents feel any worse than they already did. So I definitely swallowed a lot of that. But when my brother died, I felt a resurgence of that grief. And then
Mhm.
interestingly enough, when my boys went off to college and left home, I felt the death of my brother come back and the divorce come
Yep.
back. And all of it had to do with feeling like I had been abandoned, even though my conscious
Yes.
mind is like, well, they're just going to college. But
Right.
my heart and my body and all of that were just, feeling like, oh, they're leaving. I'm being left again. And so noticing patterns and just loving yourself through those patterns, I know I do that a lot. So many times a day, I've got my hand over my heart and the
Yep. Me
breathing into
too.
my heart and just
Yep.
saying, thank you, body. Thank you for processing everything that you process for me, for feeling everything that you feel for me. And and just know that it's okay. It's okay, body and heart. We're doing just fine.
We're all part of this life's healing dance.
Yes. Yes, we are.
All of the pieces and parts of us are
Yes.
all one.
It's true. It's true. I don't know if I shared with you when we talked last, but when I was little bitty, probably 4 years old, and I still remember this dream because it was more than a dream. I had a dream that I was a tiny little flame in a dark night sky filled with millions of other tiny flames. And there was a giant light source that was just kind of out of reach. And I remember feeling like, oh, wow, here I am, this tiny flame. And I was feeling kind of a homesickness, a longing to be with the large source of light, but knowing that I had a mission to be my own tiny flame and to shine with all these other flames. And so it's just so amazing. Like you said, I know, isn't that the sweetest? I know, it's so sweet. And that has come back to me many times that, we're here as light workers to shine our light, to anchor our light, and to light the path for others who are remembering their light. Because
Yes.
it's a remembering journey, it's a remembering dance, and all of these
Yeah.
things that happen to us in our lives are ways for us to remember our light, to wake us up to
Yeah.
that. And so to
The
shine and
yeah.
to remind others that they've got a light too. We all do. We're all
Yep.
in this together.
We are all into this together, and it reminds us of how we're all interconnected. One of my favorite experiences, thank you for sharing that because you hadn't shared that
Oh,
with me
I
before.
couldn't remember if I did or
I
not.
loved it. Um, was when I saw the Aurora Borealis in
Mm,
person.
mm-hmm.
And now I have dreams of dancing with the Aurora Borealis in light
Oh,
and love because it's part of the greater.
yes.
And even though it's physical, it's still part of the greater, just like all the stars in the sky. And we are all stars
Yes, we
too.
are. We are made of the same stuff.
We are made of the same stuff. And so I love the sense of the aurora dancing in the sky because that's can be all of us too.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, that is what we're here to do. And the planet is taking on more and more energy, up leveling, literally in frequency, that
Yes.
which is happening, scientifically. NASA studies it, and NOAA, the space weather agencies, and the children that are choosing to come in at this time are coming in with some pretty high frequencies and some amazing spiritual gifts. And
Yes.
I kind of feel like I sometimes have, sweet little images in my mind that, people that are, your age and my age, we kind of, and those that came before us obviously are out in the jungle with our machetes, kind of, trying to
Yeah.
clear the
Yeah.
path through the
Yeah.
jungle, so that
Right.
these younger ones coming in are going to have an easier time with their mission, because it's Earth is a school. We're here to learn and to remember, but we're also here choosing to be on a mission to help all of humanity and usher in this new energy and this love, this remembrance of love.
Mhm. Yeah. This kind way and compassionate way of just being who we are without comparison, without judgment, without resentment. Well, she's got a prettier body than I do, or she's got prettier eyes than I do, or she's got cooler hair.
It's true. And
It's
it
so
is,
true.
right. We all do it, right? I used to practice in a yoga studio that had mirrors, and I'd sit there and I'd look and go, oh, yeah, I need highlights, or I'm a few pounds overweight, or whatever it is. And now the studio doesn't have mirrors, which is really nice because it really
Right,
helps you go inward and not be comparing and judging and all of that.
right.
And it takes
Yeah,
time and practice, obviously,
it
but
does.
it's part of that third dimensional energy that's around us, the duality, and
Right.
the judgment. But when we notice it, we can shift it.
Yeah. And it does take practice.
Yes, it takes
That's what we're here
practice.
for is to practice,
Yes, we
you
are here to
know,
practice. The pause allows us to practice, because the pause in
pause
the in the
allows us to
pause
practice.
we find
Yeah.
that stillness where we can, oh, I remember now. I
Yeah.
remember now. Yeah.
Well, it's been such a pleasure, Laura. Oh, I don't want to stop this.
Oh, I know. Well, we may have to do it again. Maybe
I
after
know.
I get my next book out, we'll talk about that, because I'm really excited that the journey, I mean, because it has been 25 years of this journey, and going back and writing and remembering the different things that have happened along the way, and being able to go back and kind of pat myself on the back and, you've come a long way, baby,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just kind of see the growth and the evolution is really, really cool. So I would love to do this again sometime.
I'm looking forward to seeing your book. I have a few of them out there too,
I
and I'm
do, I
writing some
do.
more. And right now I'm writing a couple of anthologies, and one of them is on self-worth.
So
And I'm
needed.
hoping that that will come out in June or July. But to get a hold of Laura, her website is Laura Dunworth, her name.com, and then you can go /services to find out all of the different services she offers you. Is there any last message you'd like to give our beautiful audience?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I wanted to mention my other books that I have already published. They're very simple little guides for children. They're breathwork exercises, mindfulness for kids. I was an elementary school teacher for years before becoming a mother. So I have a couple of books out there on my website. They're called Breathe Easy, A Kid's Guide to Feeling Calm, and Breathe Easy, A Teacher's Guide to Calmer Classrooms. And then I also have a wellness app that you can also find on the App Store by searching my name. It's called Vitality Life Online, but you can find it with my name or on my website. And I have, a breathwork practice journey. I have some meditations, journal prompts, recipes. It's a mindfulness app, one-stop shopping for quick mindfulness tools.
Well, that's wonderful. Any final dance gift for healing
Oh, goodness. Kind to yourself. Be
besides
kind.
laughing at yourself,
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean,
laughing with yourself,
I crack myself up every day. I
I
think
do too.
I know, I'm like, oh, that was really funny. Just being kind to ourselves. We have to start with ourselves first because,
Yep,
we have to fill our own cup so that we have enough to share. And so being
yep,
kind to ourselves, allowing for, some days the dance is going to be a little crazy, and some days the dance needs to be a little slower, but letting that dance be something that you can take yourself a little less seriously, take life a little less seriously, and just the dance to me means being in flow, just allowing
yes,
ourselves to be in flow.
yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Laura. It has been such a treat to be with you, and we will talk again, I know.
Oh, I do too. Thank you, Brenda. My pleasure, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Take good care.
You too.
Okay, let's do some final breathing before we leave, just to bring us a little bit more into our body. Breathe in that light and love of healing dance, and let go of anything that you're ready to let go of right now. Ah, breathe in and breathe out. Thank you for being with us. Continue to do your breathing. Be well and dance the healing of your life. Bye for now. Brenda signing off.